Hi, vacation rental owner or manager. Have you wondered how an STR designer would go about improving a real life vacation rental? Today I'm doing just that for two property owners to make their spaces look amazing so they can get more bookings and revenue. Listen in. Hi, vacation rental owner. Welcome to Step Up Your STR, the show all about specialized design so that your STR can make max revenue. I'm Kara Shimizu, and I've designed dozens of STRs, all of which charge in the top 10% of their area competitors and earn up to 153% more after my designs. Today is a little different from past podcasts because I'm going to show exactly how I would decorate and improve the units for two real life STR owners. They want to get more bookings and revenue. They have very typical, common looking properties. This episode will be highly visual, so you can watch on YouTube, and I'll put that link for the video in the description. Okay, these two vacation rental owners sent me their photos through my website, and you can do that too. I'll put the link in the description to submit your property in case you're interested in getting some pro advice from me. Today we'll look at those two properties. Let's get right into it. I'll try to share my screen here. All right. So from what I can tell and from the description, this is kind of a studio apartment. It does not have its own dedicated living area. So it's a bedroom slash living area, a small bathroom, and then a little kitchen. So obviously this is the bedroom slash living area. The main photo is of the bed. It has gray walls, LVP wood toned floor, and small black nightstands, small, interesting lamps on the side tables. And then the bed it's a platform bed. And the platform itself, where the mattress sits, the platform is kind of small. And then the mattress is larger than that platform. Moving up from the floor, keep going up to the mattress. It's all dressed in white, which is awesome. There is one gray pillow as a decorative element in front of the sleeping pillows. And then there's a really large piece of art over the bed. It's a really long piece of art. I would say probably at least 48 inches, maybe more like 60 inches, 5 feet long. And it's modern art. So my first observation is that this, to me, looks a little cold. I think it needs to be warmed up. The way I would recommend doing that is first with a rug. And since it's such a small space, I would get the rug to be sort of a tonal color. So it would have beiges and some gray like the flooring does. You don't want it to be like a jarring difference from the rug to the floor, but definitely having a rug will warm it up. And then I might, when you come time for a new bed, go ahead and get a regular bed frame, one that is not on this unusual platform. When you are choosing furniture, it's good to choose just really straightforward, really classical furniture pieces that will never go out of style. All right. So the way I would choose that rug, not only kind of tonal with the floor, but you can also mix in some tones, have it be a pattern, not a solid. So mix in some tones in the pattern of what you see in the art. So, there's that pale butter yellow. I see a little smidge of some sage green and a little bit of a soft blue. So if you find a rug like that, it will go well with your piece of art. So as we keep moving up from the floor, going up to the bed, and then now top of bed, here's what I would recommend for top of bed. Definitely more pillows, more decorative pillows. I would get them in a modern style to go with your modern art. And I definitely would choose some kind of muted down colors because the shell of your unit is muted. It has those muted gray walls, the muted floor. So not really bright in your face, red, orange, blue, but maybe that toned down sage green that you see in the art. and definitely the soft blue. If you're ever wondering what colors to add, green and blue are excellent because they're really restful. Um, we see large swaths of blue in the sky and with green grass. So green and blue are really good choices when you're adding color. And if you're not sure what colors to add, green and blue is the way to go. I'd make them the same depth of color. So kind of toned down, a little bit grayed down, and kind of a medium green, a medium blue. But doing those things will definitely warm up your space and pull more color in and make it more eye-catching online. Now, Philip, when it comes time to replace your lamps, I would get large resin lamps or wood lamps that are modern in style. And when I say large, I'm meaning 25 to 30 inches tall. And that'll be really useful. It has lots of presence to see a nice big chunky lamp. And those are my initial thoughts on that bedroom, that bed area. So I hope that helps. Good luck. Let's move on briefly to this small living area. Okay, so I see that you do have some colorful pillows. I probably would go with pillows that match your art a little bit better with the muted colors, not these really bright, vivid colors. Uh, so I probably would take those away and use them in a different space. You have a really small sitting area here, which is really great. It gives a lot of versatility to the room. I think you've positioned it in a good way, so it kind of faces the TV that's near it. I would add a decorative blanket or even two on this little sofa. So, fold it neatly and drape it across the bottom of that area that comes out, the chaise lounge area. This is a small sectional. So I would have one or two really beautiful blankets, maybe in a beige and a green would be lovely and warm it up definitely there. There are two just really simple, plain, deep gray drapery panels. So what I suggest is getting them in beige, and again, to bring in warmth, but to keep it neutral and tonal so that it feels big. I wouldn't get them in a color like green or blue necessarily. I would suggest beige and raise that curtain rod up and mount it out. So you want it up towards the ceiling and mounted out farther than the frame of the window. And that'll make the space feel even bigger and more grand and beautiful. And I would definitely get longer curtains, long enough so that when you mount it up at the ceiling, those curtains do definitely reach all the way to the floor. For the bed area, I suggested a rug, and I definitely would get that rug big enough to go under both the bed and to reach under the legs of this sectional. So having that nice, big, continuous flooring is a good idea. Those are my thoughts for that. Add some color, add some softness, and you can have warmth with blankets. It'll make this space a really versatile area and comfortable and draw attention to your photos online. All right, I will move forward. All right, here we are in the bathroom, and it's a really clean, nice, standard bathroom. The main thing I see here that really catches my eye first is this big piece of elephant art. Now, there are two general ways to pick a theme for a rental. And that is with, make it themey, make it like about Africa or about elephants, or relate it to the area where your rental is found. Like I live near Park City, Utah. And so a lot of the rentals here are based on skiing and the mountains and hiking. Now this elephant, I don't see any other references to elephants or to Africa or the Sahara in any other part of your unit. So I would replace that piece of art with something else, something having to do with your area, or maybe another piece of modern art that will mirror what you have just on the other side of the wall, on the other room that's adjacent to this, the bedroom. Otherwise, clean and nice. Okay, here you have, I think, a wall unit that is an air conditioner. Just cover up these cords. You can get what are called cord covers. They're really inexpensive, really easy to install, and you just find them on Amazon. So get some cord covers so it covers up that cord and that'll look really neat and polished. Okay, I think that might be all. Yep, here's the picture of the outside. So Philip, I hope that that is helpful. All right, here we have a property sent in by Rio from Missouri. And I can tell that this is a small space. It looks like just a living area, a bathroom, a small kitchen area, a little desk is there, and then one dedicated bedroom. All right, so I'll describe this room as it is now. We'll start with the living room. There's some great things going on. I can tell it's an older home. It looks like it has original wood floors, which is so beautiful. Also, some nice tall baseboard. And it's all painted white. The ceiling, walls, doors, trim. So it looks like a really clean, nice presentation. Over on the left, there is a piece of art on the wall. It looks like it's a big piece, which is great also. And it looks like it's the St. Louis Arch. So that coordinates with the area there in Missouri. And right below that art is looks like a black sectional and it's pushed into the corner of the wall. Going over a little bit to the right, there is, so here's that sectional. Here is a set of curtains covering the window. They're kind of a cream color and they go from the top of the window to the bottom of the window. So they just barely cover the window itself. Going over to the right some more, there's a torchère lamp in the corner and two chairs, two club chairs that are very nice, very stylish. The club chairs have, each one has a cream colored pillow on it. Going back over to the sofa, there are three striped gray pillows. It looks like, as I've been looking through this, it looks like there's a bicycle theme going on, which is really great. It's so fun. And there is what looks like a bicycle wheel on the wall above one of those club chairs. Now, the coffee table, it has a black metal base with a glass top, and under that is the rug. And it's a very nice rug. It looks like a performance weave fabric rug, so it's easy to care for. And it has striations of blue and gray and maybe a cream color. So I think that the colors going on here are really wonderful. Has that blue and cream, and of course the white backdrop. Here are my, let's see, we'll also look at another view of this same room. Okay, as you look the opposite way towards the other end of the space, that is where the desk area is. And it's a nice, kind of a large white table, white desk, so two people can sit at it. There's a TV above that desk, kind of off center to the right, and then above that TV looks like a toy or a reproduction old-fashioned bicycle. So you have here, Rio, some really nice decor to work with. Let's go back to this original first picture. Here are my suggestions. If this art here is not centered on the wall, I would center it on that wall. It looks like it's a good height. It looks like it's about 8 inches. The bottom of the art is about 8 inches from the top of the sofa. So that's awesome. And then pull your sofa away from the wall. So pull it in towards the center of the room just a little bit. You can leave just, 4 or 5 inches behind the sofa, and that'll make it feel more airy and more spacious in this room. I would also center the sofa on the wall under the art. I would take down these curtains, get a nice big curtain rod. This one that you have here, the curtain rod looks quite thin and flimsy. So I'd get a nice curtain rod, mount it high above the window and out wider from the window, and then get some blue curtains that go all the way from the top of the ceiling all the way down to the floor. That'll make it look really elegant and grand in this room. Get it in a blue that kind of matches the sky blue in your rug down here. Then moving over more to the right, we hit a club chair. I'd pull that club chair forward out of the corner again towards the middle of the room, as well as the other club chair. And the first club chair is angled towards the coffee table. The second club chair is not. So I would go ahead and angle that the second club chair towards the coffee table and pull it forward away from the wall. All right. And then it looks to me like this rug is kind of in this walkway here that goes from this door all the way in the bottom left corner. That looks like the front door to me. I would push this rug over towards the window so that there's a clear path from the door into this little hallway area. I might also, well, I don't think I would take this cute wheel down. I would just lower it so it's more at eye level because when people are in this room, they'll be looking at art from standing and from sitting. So you want it to kind of be in between there, between the standing and sitting spots. So I think I would lower this art so that the middle is about 52 inches from the floor. That would be great. Then I also suggest making some contrast. So I would take these cream pillows that are on the club chairs and move them over to your sofa. Take the gray pillow, two of them, put them over on your chairs. And that will give some nice contrast to what's going on with each of those pieces of seating. I would also suggest getting a really large, like at least 24-inch, maybe more like 26-inch blue throw pillow, and I put it right here in the corner of the sofa. Then I would also get a decorative throw blanket in the same color as that blue pillow and neatly fold it and drape it over the side or the back of this club chair that's under the wheel. When you're ready to replace this coffee table or when it breaks, because it will break, glass always breaks on coffee tables in rental sooner or later, I would replace that probably with a round coffee table in wood or maybe a marble topped coffee table. I think that would look really beautiful and contribute to the elegance of the architecture of your space. All right, so I hope that's helpful. So just some rearranging and getting a pillow and a throw blanket, and this will come together really beautifully. Oh, as well as those curtains. That'll really add a lot. Okay, as we look towards the other end of this room, this is where that desk is. Here's what I would do at this area. I would leave the desk and chairs. I think those are excellent. Then I would center this TV over the desk. It's always nice to have things centered. It just gives a feeling of calm to a space. I would take down this decorative bicycle that's hung above the TV and put that elsewhere in your space. And then definitely get some cord hiders. They're really inexpensive on Amazon so that you can hide these cords that are showing. And that'll neaten this space up and make it look wonderful. I would also take down this art that's off to the left of the TV and bicycle and place it elsewhere. So only have the TV mounted on this wall, and that will be super. Okay, let's move into the bedroom. Here is one view of the bedroom. So there's a bed. It looks like maybe a full or perhaps a queen. I can't quite tell. It looks like a full to me, so it's smaller than a queen. And it is pushed over to the right in the bedroom here. Going over to the right on this picture, they're the same curtains that Rio has in the living room. They're that cream color short curtain that barely covers the window. And let's look at another view of this room. Okay, the opposite view has a rather small dresser with a mirror above it. And there's quite a large piece of art that is a bicycle. Well, I think it's a motorcycle. So that harkens to the motorcycle theme again. Over to the right of that is another bicycle wheel hung on the wall. In that corner, below the two pieces of art, is a small gray club chair. All right. Also, beside the bed, as we move back over to the side of the bed, there is a traditional looking rug, Oriental style rug. All right. I also want to point out in this first picture where you see the headboard, there is a large black mirror hanging on the wall. And over the bed, there is kind of it's supposed to be a canopy, but it looks like it's actually tilting and maybe even a little broken. So the canopy is tilted down towards the right. On the nightstands, there are some smallish looking lamps, and the nightstands are black. And then on the bed itself, the sheets are black, and the decorative pillows are blue and black. And then the bed cover, the coverlet or quilt, is a blue paisley. All right, so let's stick on this picture and I will tell you my recommendations. I would definitely center your bed against this wall in this room. If you can, get a bigger bed as well. If this is a full, get a queen. If this is a queen, get a king. A lot of people really want a king bed when they go on vacation. So go ahead and provide that for them if you have room. If this wall is 12 feet wide or longer, you can definitely fit a king here. I would remove this canopy and replace these lamps with something nice and chunky and tall and maybe white. Here you have a lot of black. You have the black headboard, the black lamp bases, the black nightstands, and the dark gray or black sheets that are showing here on the bed. So I think you need to mix this up. So a good and easy and inexpensive way to do that would be with some nice new lamps. All right. Yeah, I removed the canopy. And then here with this mirror, I would actually mount that to the back of the door. And that would be a great place for people to be able to check their outfit before they leave. And it would be make it possible so that you can move this bed to the center of the wall. Then on the bed itself, I think that this coverlet is wonderful, this blue. I would fold this down so it takes up the bottom third of the bed. And then I would replace your sheets with white sheets. Go ahead and keep your blue pillows. And then maybe get a cream or, um, yeah, a cream and blue colored oblong rectangular pillow to go in the front of those blue pillows. And that will bring in some brightness and more interest. All right, moving over to the window. Like I suggested for the front room or the living room, I would take all of this off, get a larger 1 inch diameter curtain rod and mount it way up to the ceiling and put it about 8 to 10 inches or even 12 inches out from the edge of the window on both sides. So mount it high and wide and then get curtains that are blue again to go with this beautiful sky blue in the comforter. I would hang those curtains there to go all the way to the floor. With these particular curtains, I'd make sure that they are blackout so that people can control light easily and sleep in if they would like. So that's what I would do here in this room. Got some good pieces to work with. All right, let's look though at the other side. I would go ahead and center this dresser on the wall so that it's centered with the bed as well when you move the bed over to center it on that wall. I think I would keep this little wheel here on this wall on the very right. Below it, as I mentioned, there is a gray club chair, and I would just pull that out just a little bit from the corner. When you move your bed over, that will make that space there where the chair is a little narrower. So just pull your chair a little bit. Even 3 inches will give a feeling of airiness and like the room is larger. All right, and then this larger piece of art, this motorcycle, I would move that over the headboard. So it gives interest there over the headboard. Also, in this piece of art, you can see maybe a little bit of orange and turquoise, and maybe you could introduce that orange and turquoise into the decorative pillows that will go at the head of the bed. And that will bring it all together really nicely. All right, Rio, I hope that that gives some guidance. Oh, one more really important thing. I would really recommend getting professional photography. I'm not sure if this is professional to photography, what you have here, but if you can see here, the the lines of the room, the lines of the walls and corners, those lines should all be straight up and down. So a professional photographer will do that for you. Same issue is going on here in the bedroom photo. You have this Well, the door is slanted over to the left, and then the edge of the wall is slanted over to the right. So definitely get professional photography, and that will show off your place to its very best. It'll look just beautiful. All right. Thank you very much for sending in your place. So, Philip and Rio, thank you again for submitting your properties. I think you have a great start, and let me know if you'd like some further guidance. Thank you all for listening in. Remember to check the links in the description for how to contact me with your photos if you'd like my thoughts on your property. And I look forward to talking again next time.